Alright, so yeah, I'm Greg Leary. I am an ag major. I work on the university farm. I've been working there for about a year. I work under the crops unit. Yeah.
Okay. How do you choose your crops and the variety of crops that you grow?
Normally we don't necessarily get to choose. We have people come out called seed contractors, and they say, can you grow this much? If we give you the seed for this certain plant, can you grow it for us? And then we'll sign a contract and we'll buy back whatever you produce from our seed. And so that's normally how we choose what type of crops we're going to grow. But it also depends on the crop rotation, if we can put that in a certain field or not. Some plants can't follow other plants, and you don't want to do two plants at once in the same field. So.
Okay. So you guys do rotate crops?
Yeah, we do. And it's necessary. If you don't rotate crops, what happens is let's say you planted corn 2 years in a row. Well, corn sucks up a lot of nitrogen out of the soil, so if you did corn 2 seasons straight, your soil would be nitrogen depleted, and then it wouldn't be as fertile as it could be. We rotate crops because let's say you go from a grass, which corn is a grass, and then you could go to a legume. Legumes are nitrogen fixers. So legumes actually put nitrogen back in the soil. So that's why we would go from a corn to a legume, and then we could go back to another corn on the next season, because the legumes will replace the nitrogen which was taken out.
Cool. Do you guys fertilize?
Yeah, we do. Normally we fertilize at the same time as when we are planting. So our planter actually has hoppers which hold the seed, and then we have tanks on the tractor which hold the fertilizer. So the planter will come through and it'll put a seed in the ground, and then to the right of the seed there's a probe that goes into the ground, and it injects fertilizer into the ground right next to the seeds. So that way when the seeds start germinating, they can have fertilizer instantly. We also fertilize while the crops are growing too, and how we do that is we come in with a tractor that would spray fertilizer above the plants, or we come with a tractor that will actually put it in the ground again.
Okay. How do you guys choose your fertilizers?
It all depends on the type of crop you're growing. Certain crops need certain types of fertilizers.
Do you know if any of them have an impact on the environment?
Yeah, some of them do. Some of them can be pretty harmful. When you put any sort of chemical in the ground, there's the potential for that fertilizer to be leached into the soil from the irrigation water. The irrigation water will pull it through the soil, and that fertilizer will get into the water table, the underground water, and which could move to other parts. It could go into rivers, streams, lakes, what have you.
And do you guys do anything to maintain soil organic matter content?
Yeah, we do, and that's a big part of fertilizing. Organic matter, the higher organic matter you have in your field, the better. It's basically a good indicator of the soil health. And so we do things like we'll add manures, or we'll add synthetic ways of adding more organic matter.
What indicators do you guys use to measure the fertility?
All sorts of things. Normally, how it's done now is you take soil samples. You push a probe into the ground, which takes a core sample of soil, and you do that. It depends on the size of the field, but if it's a 20-acre field, you might want to take 10 samples randomly throughout the field, on the edges, in the middle, on either sides, and you send that into a lab. They analyze that soil for you and tell you what deficiencies you have, and if any of the nutrients in the soil, if you have too much of any nutrient or too little, and then that's how you can tell what you need to add and what you don't need to add.
Okay. How do you guys control pests?
Using pesticides. We also have GMO crops, genetically modified organisms, which are resistant to the pesticides that we spray. So when we come through and spray the pesticides, it'll only hurt the whatever pest you have in the plant. The plants itself have been genetically altered to accept it, and it will not kill them, it won't hurt them.
So why do you guys use that particular pest control approach?
It's the new way of doing it. GMOs are easy to work with. You know, a lot of them are, you'll hear people say that crops are Roundup ready, which means that Roundup is a, you know, it's an herbicide, or it's also, you know, a pesticide. So it's just the best way to do it. You don't have to worry about the crops being hurt because they've been genetically altered to, you know, be resistant to those pesticides.
Cool. Are there any crops that you can't grow because of difficulty controlling pests?
Not really. As long as we have the resources to manage those pests, then we can pretty much grow whatever we want. Yeah, and then with all these, you know, like I said, the Roundup ready plants, pretty much grow whatever you want.
So you guys have pretty effective pest control methods.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And pest control's been advancing rapidly in, I don't know, the last, I don't know, maybe 2 decades. It's been getting easier and easier to grow your crops and not having to worry about them dying from pests.
So to switch over to labor and management of the farm, do you guys have serious labor or management constraints on production during the year?
Yeah, we do. Certain times of the year we have a deadline of when we need to get stuff harvested, or as of right now, we have to get stuff planted right now because it's the wet season, and we have to get it in the ground so it'll start growing before it gets warm and can actually start growing rapidly. So. Do
you work off the farm?
No, I mean, unless school would count as working off the farm, but that's about it.
Okay. Do you ever get a vacation?
That's the thing about farming, is you may never get a vacation, and we sometimes even have to work weekends. My boss sometimes farms till like 10:30 at night, and he wakes up earlier than I do, so.
Holy crap. What time does he wake up at?
Oh, geez. On Monday I got to the farm at 7, and he had been there since I think he said 4 or 5.
Oh, geez.
And he had been planting until 10:30 the night before. So.
How does he see when it's dark outside?
We have lights on the tractors, and nowadays most of the tractors are GPS guided anyways, so you don't honestly have to drive them. All you have to do is line it up straight with the field, put it in gear and hit a button, and the tractor drives itself straight, and then once it gets to the end of the field, you'll hear a beep, and you turn off the GPS unit, and then you turn the tractor around and repeat the process. So you could even farm with the lights off if you have a GPS guided tractor.
Nice. Has management been a constraint to size of production or beginning new enterprises? Okay, skip that one.
All right.
At what time of year are labor requirements most crucial? Critical.
Right now, like I said, during the planting season, it's really critical, and also during the summer, it's very critical because it takes a lot of effort to get all these plants irrigated and to make sure everything gets its water. You know, we normally have more workers out on the farm during the summer helping us irrigate and fertilize and, you know, spray pesticides. So I'd say summer's probably the one time when we need the most help and we need more labor.
Have you guys had problems with a shortage of labor?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we do. Like, right now we couldn't get some of our seed in the ground in time because we didn't have the people to do it. Also, it's been raining too much.
So who exactly does the farm work? How many people do you guys have on your ranch for hands and to do the actual labor?
Well, it's me, my boss, and there are 4 other guys that are employees of the crops unit, but we get student help, and they come out for, I don't know, we probably get 9 to 10 hours a day out of these students coming out and helping us. I don't know, at any given day there's probably 10 to 15 kids working for the crops unit.
Okay. And do you guys has there been a move to do any kind of organic